Hello there, and welcome to Whispers to Sleep. My name is David, and I'm truly honored to be your guide tonight. Here we believe sleep is not just a routine. It's a gentle journey, a quiet return to peace every night. I craft stories with care, so your mind can rest and your body can soften all you need to do. Let go, take a slow deep breath in, and as you breathe out, allow the day to melt away. Close your eyes. Get cozy under the covers and let my voice lead you into calm, into comfort, into dreams. This is your time. Your memento. Truly relax. Let's begin. The day exhales. The golden sun slips lower, brushing the tops of rooftops with a sleepy farewell. You feel it in your chest, the hush that only comes in the hour between play and dinner, when the wind stills and everything around you softens. A moment balanced gently on the threshold of night, that you stand at the edge of your childhood street. It is not quite then, not quite now, somewhere in between. The air smells faintly of dry grass, warm cement, and the promise of something familiar. You don't need to see the address to know this place. You know it with the kind of knowing that lives beneath language, the kind held not in your thoughts, but in your bones. A street lamp buzzes to life behind you. That soft, amber glow stretches long shadows across the pavement, and in its light, the world changes. Not suddenly, not like a switch, but slowly, like sugar dissolving in tea. You're no longer in the present. You're back, and yet, your body knows it is still here, still now. This is how memory works. Not as a perfect recording, but as a sensory spell. Your brain reassembles it all from scattered fragments, like patching a quilt from scraps of color and feeling. This isn't time travel through physics. This is the GENT, neuroscience of memory. Time travel through you. The light overhead flickers again. It's not broken, just waking up. Street lights in the late 1980s glowed orange with sodium vapor, casting a world that looked like it was always on the edge of a dream. Science called it low-pressure sodium lighting. But to you, it was the golden hour that never quite ended. And under that light, everything slowed. Your footsteps are soft as you walk. The pavement feels smoother than it should. Or maybe it's your memory smoothing out the cracks. That's what the brain does. When you recall something, your neurons don't replay it like a movie. They rebuild it like painters recreating a sunset from emotion. It's never exact, it's personal. Each memory is a brushstroke. Each detail is a decision. And here, now, you've chosen comfort. You pass by the house with the crooked mailbox, the one with the yellow tricycle always left by the gate. The porch swing sways slightly, though there's no wind. The light from inside flickers like candlelight behind the old curtains. You could knock on that door, but you don't need to. You already know who lives there. You always did. Farther ahead, the cicadas sing their electric lullaby. A low rhythmic buzz that once annoyed you now feels like a cradle song. Science tells us that sound is one of the most powerful triggers of memory, especially ambient. Sound. It bypasses logic, taps directly into the hippocampus, and brings feelings flooding back before the mind can even catch up. And so here you are, heart full of things you didn't know you missed. A radio plays from someone's porch. Faint, crackling, tinny. Maybe it's every breath you take or time after time. You're not sure, and it doesn't matter. What matters is the way it floats in the warm air like a ribbon, tying the houses together in invisible threads. Music isn't just sound here. It's a time marker. Your brain stored this melody not only in sound, but in scent, emotion, body temperature, and mood. This isn't just nostalgia. This is neuroscience. The evening continues to fold itself inward. Trees blur into silhouettes. Shadows pool in driveways. Somewhere a lawn sprinkler ticks and hisses, painting arcs of silver in the fading light. You Feel the cool mist on your arms, even though it isn't real. But your nervous system doesn't seem to mind. It reacts all the same. That's the miracle of somatic memory. Your body, too, remembers that your pace slows. It feels right to linger. Streetlights blink on, one by one, not in perfect sync, but like stars appearing in a twilight sky. You are no longer thinking. You are remembering with your whole being. And in this moment, you ask yourself quietly, why does this time, this hour of amber glow in quiet houses, feel safer than any other? Why is dusk the gateway to so many of our warmest memories? Perhaps because it is the bridge between noise and silence, between doing and dreaming. And your brain, like the sky above, begins to shift. Cortisol drops. Melatonin begins its slow rise. Your inner rhythm aligns with the outer one. This is not just emotion. This is biology preparing for rest, the body responding to light. You don't just feel sleepy at dusk. You are designed to be as the light dims further, your eyes adjust. This, too, is a marvel. Photoreceptor cells called rods begin to work more than cones, making you less sensitive to color, but more attuned to shape and shadow. You don't think about it. You don't need to. Your body carries you through the thresholds without question. Now the neighborhood is nearly still. A dog barks faintly in the distance. A porch light flickers off. A moth taps gently against a screen door. Everything is settling. You close your eyes. Just for a second. And in the darkness behind your eyelids, the memory continues. Not in pictures, but in warmth and quiet, and the feeling of being held by something that once was. Something that never truly left. You exhale. You are not traveling through space. You are not breaking any laws of physics. You are simply remembering. And that, too, is a kind of journey in the stillness of that moment, when the streetlights blinked on, the past became soft enough to touch, and now that you've stepped into memory's glow, what scent will lead you further in? It begins with a whisper of green. The scent is faint at first, just a trace on the breeze, sweet, sharp, and earthy. The smell of freshly cut grass. It finds you before the memory does, stirring something beneath the surface. You breathe. In again, slower this time, and the past opens like a window in your mind. You are standing barefoot in your childhood backyard. The sun leans low, the light golden and liquid. The lawn is uneven and soft underfoot, damp with the sprinkler past. Through earlier in the day. In the corner, an old push mower rests against the fence, and clippings cling to your ankles like static. This smell, this simple, ordinary smell, becomes a time machine. You see, your brain stores smells differently. Unlike sight or sound, which travel through the thalamus, the brain's relay station, smell takes a direct path. It travels straight to the amygdala and the hippocampus, the regions that handle memory and emotion. That's why certain scents don't just remind you of a moment. They return you to it. Cut grass doesn't just smell like summer. It is summer. The scent is made of compounds called green leaf volatiles, chemicals plants release when they're damaged. They're a kind of plant distress call, but your brain interprets them as comfort, not crisis. You've smelled them 1,000 times without knowing what they were. And yet, they carry the weight of years. As you walk, other smells join the chorus. The vinyl seat of your family's old car, hot from the sun and releasing a plasticky sweetness. The sugary syrup of a cherry popsicle melting down your fingers. The faint chemical burn of chlorine drifting from a neighbor's pool. Each scent is a thread, and your mind gently weaves them into memory's fabric. You pass a patch of honeysuckle growing wild near the fence. You stop without thinking and lean in. The flowers are soft, creamy yellow and white, their scent delicate and intoxicating. The memory is instant. You, younger, bending the stem, pulling out the thread of nectar and tasting it on your tongue. It was ritual then, sacred in a way, and now just as sacred in recollection. What is it about smell that brings the past so close? Perhaps because it's tied to the first memories we form. Even in infancy, before you could speak or understand much of the world, you could smell. The olfactory system develops early, and it's tied deeply to survival, to recognizing mother, to finding food, to sensing safety or danger. It's primal, emotional, instinctive. And so, when a scent returns to you, it doesn't ask your permission. It doesn't wait for language. It simply arrives. You wander past the open garage, where the scent of motor oil and old cardboard lingers. Inside, a dusty shelf holds boxes, and atop one of them, a cassette tape. Its label is handwritten, Summer Mix 88. You pick it up, thumb tracing the worn plastic edges, and suddenly, the air around you feels full of sound. Not music exactly, but the anticipation of it. The hiss before the first note. You place the imaginary tape into an unseen player. Click, whir, the wheels spin, and soft music begins. Faded, wobbly, perfect. Maybe it's Don't Dream, It's Over, or True Colors, or something only you remember. The exact song doesn't matter. What matters is that the sound is wrapped in scent. The scent of the living room carpet, of old wood speakers, of your dad's cologne, of the dinner being made in the kitchen just beyond. You sit. The song fills the space like light, and you let it. Your brain at this moment is doing something extraordinary. It is cross-referencing, linking multiple sensory inputs to strengthen the memory. This is called multisensory integration. And when smell is involved, those memories tend to be stronger, longer-lasting, and more vivid. It's not nostalgia that fools you into thinking the past was more vibrant. It was because you stored it in color, sound, taste, and scent, all at once. The wind picks up slightly. It brings a new smell, a neighbor's barbecue, the tang of smoke and spice. And again, you are pulled elsewhere. Maybe to a family picnic, maybe to fireworks by the lake, maybe to nothing specific, just a feeling of fullness, of evening, light of summer's unhurried hunger dot, and all of it, again, begins with the nose. You lean back, let your eyes close, and breathe deeply. The act itself is grounding. Slow, conscious breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part that calms you, slows your heart, tells your body it's safe. Breathing in a familiar scent amplifies that message. It's why certain smells, lavender, cedar, vanilla, are so often used to ease sleep. But for you, it's not about essential oils. It's about memory oil, the kind that only your life has distilled as night deepens. The cooler air changes the chemistry of what you breathe. Some scents fade, others sharpen. Dew begins to form on the grass, changing the way the earth smells. This scent, petrichor, is the result of compounds like geosmin released from the soil when moisture arrives. Even this is science wrapped in poetry. Got your fingers brush the grass. Your mind is calm. Your body is listening to the messages of memory without needing to explain them. You're not chasing the past. You're moving through it gently, like a canoe gliding across a quiet lake. And yet, not all memories are so clear. Some are foggy, wrapped in scentless shadow. Some may never return. That, too, is part of the design. Memory protects as much as it reveals. What it lets rise tonight is enough. The tape ends. A soft click. The scent of the night grows stronger now. Cooling earth, distant lilac, old wood. You feel sleep moving closer. But somewhere on the breeze, another trace emerges. Subtle, faint. Is it music? No, it's rhythm. Motion. The whisper of wheels. And suddenly, you wonder, where is that barefoot bike of time going next? The sun has lowered just enough to cast long shadows across the street. You step barefoot onto the sidewalk, its surface warm and familiar beneath your feet. A bicycle leans against the porch, slightly tilted, as if it's been waiting for you. Its red paint is chipped in places, the seat worn, but it holds the quiet promise of movement, of freedom. You hop on, and the journey continues not forward, but deeper. The first few pedals are gentle. No urgency, no direction. Just the rhythm of your feet pressing against the world, and the wind catching the loose edge of your shirt. You are not chasing anything. You are gliding through something. Something without clocks or minutes or plans. Just motion. You pass trees you've passed before, houses you've seen 100 times. But now they seem to blur into each other, like scenery in a dream. Because time, as your brain understands it, is not fixed. It is not an unchanging river. It is more like the road beneath your wheels, curved, smooth, sometimes stretching endlessly, sometimes bending so sharply you forget what came before. You are not alone in this perception. Every mind plays tricks with time. When you are fully immersed in something, a conversation, a game, a memory, time compresses. Hours pass like minutes. But when you're waiting or anxious or trapped in discomfort, each second can stretch unbearably long. This is called time dilation. And right now, riding through this golden summer air, your brain is doing it without even asking you. You pedal faster, and the world doesn't resist. Instead, it softens. The edges of houses fade. The breeze grows stronger. You're coasting. Now downhill, and your body knows the way without thinking. Balance is instinct. Breath is rhythm. The air carries the scent of dust and wildflowers and a trace of someone's barbecue. Far off, time slips away, not in hours, but in feelings. The wind tugs at your hair, and with it comes a memory, not clear, but bright. A birthday party? A bike race down this very street? It doesn't need to be exact. The brain stores episodic memory, the memory of experiences in fragments. Like scattered Polaroids, half-developed, kept not for clarity, but for warmth. You pass a row of mailboxes. Then the corner where the old dog used to bark. Then the place where someone once chalked a hopscotch grid across the sidewalk. It's faded now, but your mind fills in the numbers. The bike slows just slightly, and you lift your feet. Let it glide. Let gravity take over. Neuroscientists believe the perception of time is handled by networks across the brain, not just one clock, but many. Your basal ganglia, your cerebellum, even your prefrontal cortex. All of them working together to build a sense of now. But now is subjective. For a child, a summer afternoon lasts forever. For an adult, the same span flickers by like a flash of sunlight on metal. Your hands grip the handlebars, and you marvel at the sensation of breeze against skin. This moment feels long and slow and delicious. Not because it is long, but because you're noticing it. And attention, science says, is one of the greatest influences on time. The more deeply you pay attention, the more time seems to expand. And now, attention is all you have. No distractions, no ticking clocks, no tomorrow. Just wind and wheels, and the hum of rubber on pavement. You reach a turn and lean slightly, trusting the bike, trusting yourself. Movement carries memory in more ways than one. The cerebellum, which coordinates physical balance and motion, is also deeply tied to time perception. Maybe that's why riding a bike feels so much like floating through moments, one action, pulling the next into place, like a line of dominoes set gently into motion. Your shadow stretches before you. It flickers in rhythm with the fence posts you pass. Flicker, flicker, flicker. A visual metronome. And suddenly, time feels like music. Not a straight line, but a rhythm of silence and sound, of rest and movement, of presence. You pass a girl sitting on a curb, legs drawn in, eyes watching the clouds. You nod. She doesn't wave, but her gaze follows you, curious, maybe even a little envious. Or maybe she's part of the memory too, a character built from the dreamscape of your own neurons, stitched together from 100 real faces and voices and names. You wonder, how many of your memories have been edited like this? Sharpened in some places, softened in others? The brain does this all. The time, it doesn't record, it rewrites. Every time you recall something, you don't just revisit the memory, you rebuild it. And with each rebuild, time gets molded to fit the story. Now the hill flattens, and the bike slows. Your legs swing off one side. The grass is cool underfoot, speckled with dandelions. You walk the bike to a familiar spot, a wide stretch of sidewalk under a row of maple trees. The leaves rustle in soft conversation overhead. Somewhere behind you, a wind chime rings. You sit on the curb. Let the handlebars rest against your knee. And time, that elusive, ever-shifting thing, pauses. Just for a heartbeat dot, it's here that you realize. Time isn't something you hold. It's something that holds you dot. It stretches when you fill it with joy. It shrinks when you ignore. It stops when you sleep. It loops when you dream. And right now, it listens. You tilt your head to the sky. The clouds are soft and slow. Shadows glide across the pavement. Everything is still. And yet, in the silence, there's something else coming. A sound, a ripple, a signal drifting in from far away. Memory on the breeze, not a bike wheel. Not the wind dot its music? Or is it? No, it's something older, quieter, like a voice, or a wave, or maybe a frequency tuned to something deeper. It begins with static, a soft crackle, like rain on old vinyl. Then a note, faint, warbling, uncertain. A voice follows, distant but unmistakably human, fading in and out like a memory testing its own strength. You're standing in front of the old radio now. It sits on a shelf in your mind, tucked between faded paperbacks and dusty trophies. Wooden, square, heavy. The kind with a silver knob and a glowing dial that shifts like the horizon. You turn it gently, fingers remembering the pressure, the click, the way the signal swims just below the surface until you catch it. There, a song, half-formed but familiar. You don't even need to know the title. It's not about the name. It's about the feeling. That melody belongs to a time you haven't visited in years, a time of sunburned shoulders, kitchen dance parties, and late-night car rides with windows down, and the air thick with crickets. The music does not ask permission to bring you back. It simply begins, and you follow. This is the science of sound and memory, moving in harmony. Your brain is wired to connect the two, almost without effort. When you hear music, your auditory cortex lights up. But when it's music connected to emotion, something deeper activates. The hippocampus and the amygdala, the very same regions that lit up with smell. Only now, it's not scent guiding the memory. It's rhythm. Music is a time capsule, but not like a photograph or a diary. It's alive. It pulses. It breathes. It doesn't just show you the past. It lets you feel it again. That's the magic of what neuroscientists call emotional encoding. The way a song can stitch itself into your memory at the exact moment your heart was open, during joy, heartbreak, wonder, or grief. The song shifts slightly. A new chord, a new voice. You're back in a car now. Your dad driving, your mom humming, your hands sticky with the remnants of a popsicle. The dashboard glows dimly. The road unwinds, and the radio plays on. You may not remember the exact destination, but you remember the tune that held the moment in place. Music is processed. in the brain differently than ordinary sound. Its patterns, tempo, harmony, pitch are interpreted across multiple regions, including areas responsible for movement and planning. That's why you tap your fingers, why you sway your head, why your foot keeps rhythm before you even notice. That's why memory follows so closely behind. Because music moves you, not just physically, but neurologically. The static returns, just for a second, but it's not noise now, it's texture. You remember the feeling of tuning the dial, by hand, of hearing snippets of voices, of advertisements for products long gone, of laughter from somewhere far away. Radio was never perfect, but it had a warmth that today's flawless streaming cannot replicate. Because imperfection makes space for emotion. You move through the radio waves of your mind. Each station a fragment, a glimpse. There's the song your friend played on her Walkman at the pool, the one you danced to under fairy lights in a backyard, the lullaby your mother sang. Before sleep, barely above a whisper. Some of the songs don't have words. Some are just chords or rhythms, or the echo of a voice that never left. You pause the dial, and you listen. There is a quiet moment, one that stretches wide. And in that space, you feel something remarkable. Your entire brain listening. Not just with ears, but with memory, with skin, with breath. You recall the science now, how music can stir even the deeply lost. In dementia patients, for example, music can reawaken emotion and memory where language has faded. Because music doesn't live in just one place in the brain. It lives across the brain. It binds, it lingers, and in you, it still plays. The song now fades to something softer, a melody that seems to float. You recognize it, not from a specific moment, but from many. It was the background of entire seasons. It lived in waiting rooms, grocery stores, elevators. It was never chosen, and yet it's part of your personal symphony. This is something the mind does so gently. It absorbs what surrounds it and tucks it away for later. What we hear passively becomes what we remember deeply, especially when our senses are open, when we are still growing, or grieving, or loving, or dreaming. You adjust the dial once more. The song changes again. This one is yours. It might not have words. It might not have been on any chart, but it is stitched into your memory, the rhythm of your childhood, the tempo of your youth. You hum it softly now. The notes roll over your tongue. Not perfect, but enough. And again, you marvel at how a sound can carry so much, a scent, a season, a name, a silence. At how you are still composed of so many echoes. The dial clicks one final time. The music grows fainter. Your thoughts quiet. You are not in the past, but the past is in you, humming gently. You breathe in, and the air feels different, warmer, denser, charged. It is not the song now. It's the afterglow. And floating within that stillness, a flicker of light appears. Soft, pulsing. Is it a star? No, smaller, a spark perhaps, or something alive. The night has deepened, the kind of night where the air holds its breath and everything slows to a hush. You step barefoot onto the back porch, and the world welcomes you gently. The wooden boards beneath your feet creak in a familiar way, soft, old, dependable, like they remember your weight. Out in the yard, the grass is cool and wet with dew. The sky above is an endless velvet canvas, speckled with stars. But down here, in the garden, another kind of light flickers. Fireflies. They rise like sparks from the earth, slow, weightless, golden, one by one, then many. Some near, glowing, just for you. Others far, tiny points blinking like Morse code across the shadows. Their rhythm is irregular, like a secret language whispered too quietly to decode. You step carefully into the grass. The world is darker here, but not silent. Crickets sing, leaves rustle, and all around you, these floating lights blink on and off, like thoughts, and that's when you realize this isn't just a backyard. This is your brain, and the fireflies are your neurons. Each flicker, each flash, each pause. It's all happening inside you too. Your brain, even now, even in this quiet, sleepy state, is alive with tiny bursts of light and energy. Neurons, the cells that carry your thoughts, your memories, your dreams, are constantly communicating. Not with words, but with pulses. Electrical signals that pass from one cell to the next, like a message passed in firelight dot in your head. There are nearly 86 billion of these neurons. They connect across a vast forest of synapses, tiny spaces where chemicals carry signals between cells. When a neuron fires, it sends an electrical impulse down a long, branching arm called an axon. That impulse reaches the end, and a burst of neurotransmitters is released into the synapse, binding to the next cell and continuing the message dot. It's fast, it's complex, it's beautiful. And in the stillness of this night, it feels like magic. But it isn't magic. It's biology. Still, that doesn't make it any less wondrous. You move slowly through the garden, watching the fireflies. Some rest on leaves. Others drift like stars just out of reach. You remember chasing them once, cupping your hands and laughing when they disappeared before you could catch them. You never needed to catch them, really. It was enough to know they were there. That, too, is like memory. Some thoughts return easily, bright, clear, immediate. Others stay just out of reach, glowing faintly in the distance. You might never recall the exact face, the exact word, the exact moment, but the feeling lingers, the shape of it, the glow dot, and even the forgotten memories, the ones that never resurface. They're still part of you. They shape the pathways. Your brain walks every day. They built the roads. Even if the signs are gone, the route remains. You pause under a tree and look up. Its branches sway gently, heavy with leaves. A firefly dances close, then vanishes. Another glows in the crook of a branch, blinking steadily. A few feet away, another responds. This is how neurons talk, not all at once, but in waves, like ripples across a pond. Your brain is never completely quiet. Even in sleep, it hums with activity. Even now, as you listen to this story, as you feel your body relax, your neurons are choreographing an intricate ballet of thought and rest, of remembering and releasing that you sit down on the damp grass. Your body settles, your breath slows dot in the garden of your brain. Whole networks are lighting up, not just because of memory, but because of imagination. The same regions that activate when you remember something also engage when you imagine. Your brain does not sharply distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. And so, in this moment, this garden of fireflies is both outside of you and within. And maybe, just maybe, that's why stories work the way they do. Why a whisper of language can paint whole landscapes in your mind. Why a single image, a sentence, a scent can bring the past to life. Because your neurons are listening. Because your brain wants to build the scene. And because each memory, each thought, each story is not static. It is active, alive, glowing, flickering. You lean back on your hands. The earth is solid, grounding. The stars above seem to lean in. More fireflies join the dance, their rhythm slow, unhurried. You think of someone you miss, someone from that summer perhaps, and you wonder where they are now. If they're fireflies, still blink in rhythm with yours dot connection. That's what the brain is built for, and that's what these fireflies echo. Not just light, but communication. Every flash is a signal, a message, a presence. Your brain's neurons do the same. In fact, their pattern of firing, their unique signature of timing and location, is what creates yourself. The way your neurons speak to one another, the strength of their connections, the paths they take, all of it is you. Your memories, your personality, your dreams, your quiet thoughts at night. And in this moment, your brain is storing this memory too. Not in a single place, but in many. Sound, vision, emotion, language, movement. It is planting a firefly in the garden. Later, maybe, you'll smell damp grass again and remember this. Maybe you'll hear a cricket and find yourself back here. Maybe you'll dream of flickering lights and not know why you feel so calm. But your brain will know, because the garden remembers. Because the fireflies never really leave. They only rest, waiting to be seen again. A soft breeze lifts the air. A final firefly dances close to your cheek, then rises and disappears into the trees. You exhale. The garden is quiet now, but not empty. It holds the rhythm of light and silence, the shimmer of thought's unspoken dot, and in the distance, beyond the tree line, something warmer begins to drift in. The scent of dry earth, the heaviness of still air. A summer heat wave is approaching, and with it, a new kind of stillness. The night holds its breath. Even the leaves seem to pause. There's no breeze now, only the soft weight of summer pressing gently against your skin. The heat has settled like a thick blanket, not suffocating, just heavy enough to still your thoughts, to hush the world into quiet. You lie back in the grass. The earth below radiates warmth, as though it has memorized the sun's touch. You feel it through your spine, steady, grounding, like a slow heartbeat under soil that the fireflies from earlier have mostly gone. The crickets continue their lullaby, a little slower now. And overhead, the stars blink through a faint shimmer. In the air, the visible dance of a heat wave. You know, this kind of stillness. The kind that doesn't demand rest, but suggests it. The kind that makes you melt into the moment, the hour, the now. Your eyelids droop. Not from exhaustion, but from the invitation heat extends. To stay still, to do nothing. To let the body go soft. This is not your imagination. It's biology. Your body is a finely tuned thermostat. Every function, from alertness to digestion, is influenced by temperature. When it's hot, truly hot, your body shifts into a different rhythm. Slower, calmer, a little less focused, a little more relaxed. The science behind it is called thermoregulation. Your hypothalamus, a small region in your brain, acts as the conductor of this symphony. It senses changes in internal temperature and orchestrates responses. Sweat, to cool you. Blood vessels dilating to release heat. A gentle urging of the mind toward rest. Because when your body gets warm, your brain gets sleepy. And in this moment, that feels exactly right. You shift slightly, and a bead of sweat slides along your temple. It's not uncomfortable. It's natural. Your body's way of keeping balance. You're a self-cooling system, constantly adjusting. To maintain a safe and stable temperature. It's remarkable, really. Your body doesn't wait for you to notice the heat. It responds instantly without asking. Your heart rate slows. Your breathing deepens. Your muscles loosen. And with each breath, you feel the world slow down with you. Heat does something else too. It influences your mind. Studies have shown that high temperatures can reduce attention, lower motivation, even alter mood. But when you're not being asked to perform, or produce, or plan, the heat becomes a gift. It strips away urgency, softens your thoughts, invites you inward. You remember days like this, stretched out on a porch swing, or a beach towel, or the floor of your living room. A fan buzzing softly in the corner. A book half read beside you. Light pooling across the windowsill. The only goal, to be still, Dot. It's not laziness. It's regulation. Your body and the heat finding a rhythm together. Even now, as you lie under the stars, you can feel that rhythm sinking. The sky warm, the ground warm, your skin warm. No edges, no hurry. Just this slow surrender. And perhaps it's in these moments, the hot, heavy ones, that the mind does its quiet work. Dreaming, wandering, reorganizing. You don't have to do anything for this to happen. Just being here, resting, breathing, feeling is enough. You glance upward. The shimmer of the heat wave is fainter now, but still present. It bends the light just slightly, as though the stars are swaying in the air. You wonder if your thoughts do the same, bending and drifting, in the warmth, becoming softer, more fluid, and that's not far from the truth. Research shows that temperature can affect memory, perception, even the way we experience time. When we're warm and calm, the brain's default mode network, the part active during daydreaming, and introspection becomes more active. We slip into ourselves. We drift. Your eyelids flutter again. The ground feels even warmer now, as if it's been holding this heat just for you. Like it knows you needed this stillness, this pause, and maybe it's true. Maybe you did need it. Not just to rest, but to remember what rest feels like. Because somewhere in the stillness of summer, the body teaches the mind to slow down, to stop measuring, to stop striving, to simply be. And in that surrender, there is peace. You close your eyes. The world does not stop, but it does grow quiet. The air around you thickens. Time stretches again, not forward, but wide, like a warm sheet pulled over your shoulders. You do not know how long you stay like this. But you do know this. Something shifts, not in you, but around you. The air is no longer just warm. It's beginning to cool. The breeze has returned, soft and curious. And on it, the scent of something familiar, Dot, something that invites you to look up, something older than the heat, something farther than the sky, Dot, something shining. You lie back on the lawn, arms outstretched, the grass cool against your skin. The night is deep now, not just dark, but vast, still, wrapped in velvet. The world has grown quiet, as if it's holding a secret it's ready to tell, only to you. Dot, above, the sky stretches endlessly, a dome of ink dusted with stars. Not the kind you see in passing, through a window or city haze. These are clearer, brighter, older. They blink with no urgency, like lighthouses on a cosmic sea, watching, waiting, Dot, and then one catches your eye. You don't know its name. You don't need to. It's just a small point of light, slightly brighter than the others. But something in you feels drawn to it, as if it's been waiting there for decades, until this very moment, for you to look up and remember. You breathe in. The air is different now, lighter, cooler, charged, and you begin to wonder, how far did that light travel, just to reach you? The answer, whispered through the still night. Light years, dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands. That star, that tiny glowing point, might have sent its light across the universe long before you were even born. It may not even exist anymore. And yet here it is, arriving now, falling gently onto the surface of your eye, into the folds of your mind. You're not just looking at starlight. You're catching ancient history. Light, after all, is a traveler. It moves at the fastest known speed, nearly 300,000 kilometers per second. And yet, the distances between stars are so immense that their light can take centuries, even millennia, to reach us. When you gaze up at the night sky, you're not seeing stars as they are. You're seeing them as they were, long ago. The sky above you is a living time capsule, a gallery of cosmic echoes. And this light, this gentle glow, it means you are not separate from the past. You are touched by it, bathed in it, cradled by it. You close your eyes for a moment. And still, the light remains, a soft glow behind your lids. Even when unseen, it's there, like memory, like love. The grass beneath you breathes with the earth. You feel the hum of insects, the slow settling of soil, cooling for the night. You feel small, but not in a lonely way, in a connected way. Like a thread in a vast tapestry, glowing under the stars, your thoughts wander now to what the star has passed over on its journey to you. Planets, dust clouds, maybe nothing but darkness. And yet it never stopped. It kept going, straight to your childhood backyard. Isn't it beautiful to think that the universe remembers? That, even when the source fades, the signal endures? This is not philosophy. It's physics. Photons, the tiny packets of light, are born in the fiery cores of stars. They take thousands of years just to escape the star itself, bouncing endlessly through plasma before they burst free into space. And from there, they travel in straight lines, untouched, until they find something. A planet, a telescope, a backyard, or a person looking up from the grass dot tonight. You are the destination, the end point of a journey that began before memory. Before this summer, before this life, you open your eyes again. The star is still there, calm and unwavering. You think of how stars are born. Clouds of gas collapsing under their own gravity, igniting under pressure and heat, beginning to burn. Just like that, something new begins to shine. Stars live for millions or billions of years, depending on their size. And when they die beautifully. Some explode in brilliant supernova. Some collapse into neutron stars or black holes. And some simply fade away. And yet, their light lingers. The poet in you knows what this means. The scientist in you agrees. Even in death, stars leave something behind. And so, too, do you. Every thought you've had, every word you've spoken, every act of kindness or sorrow, it all leaves traces. Not always visible, not always measurable, but real. Your mind flashes back to a moment, perhaps from this same summer night in '88, lying on this very lawn, someone beside you, a voice, a laugh, fireworks in the distance. You may not recall every detail, but the feeling glows, constant as a star. Your memories, like light, are made of energy, stored in neural pathways, recalled in waves. And when you think of someone gone, someone far, and you feel their presence flicker inside your chest, that's memory light. That's emotional starlight. You reach up, one arm stretched toward the sky. Your fingers trace a line between stars. You remember doing this as a child, connecting the dots to draw constellations, pretending they were signs meant just for you. Orion, Cassiopeia, the Big Dipper. The stars haven't moved. But you have. You've grown, changed, and still, here you are, reaching for the same sky. This sense of wonder you feel? It's not childish. It's deeply human. Astronomers have found that simply looking up at the night sky can increase feelings of awe, humility, and connection. It softens the self. It expands the mind. It reminds you that you are small, but never alone. You take a slow breath, filling your lungs with summer night and starlight. You are not drifting. You are anchored to earth, to memory, to the cosmos. A shooting star streaks across the sky, brief, bright, gone, but not forgotten. You blink. And the stillness returns. The stars shimmer like lullabies, like the soft flicker of thoughts, not yet fully formed. You lie there a little longer, letting the sky speak, letting your body listen. And just as you begin to feel sleep pulling you inward, a thought arrives, gentle and glimmering. If light from a star can find you across time and space, then what else might be quietly waiting in the cracks of sidewalks and the corners of dreams? The stars are still above you, but your gaze lowers to something smaller, something closer. The sidewalk. It stretches in familiar lines before you, pale, cracked, warm beneath your feet. You step onto it barefoot, as you once did years ago, and the heat stored from the day presses gently into your soles. The edges are uneven, lined with chalk dust, tiny weeds, and childhood secrets. You pause, and then take another step, and another, and without effort, your body begins to remember. The route. Past the mailbox that always creaked, around the corner where the sprinkler once danced, over the little ridge where the sidewalk lifted, pushed up by tree roots long gone. You're not just walking, you're recalling, but it's not your mind doing all the work. It's your body. This is the power of muscle memory, a term that doesn't mean your muscles remember, but rather that your brain remembers movements so well, it no longer needs your conscious mind to guide them about your feet. Your balance, the swing of your arms, it all flows. Your body knows this route. It remembers the rhythm of the neighborhood. It knows where to step, where to slow, where to turn. And deeper still, there's another layer, spatial memory, the way your brain constructs maps of places even when you're not trying to. The hippocampus, a seahorse-shaped structure nestled deep in your brain, is the architect of this ability. It remembers paths, distances, and the emotional texture of spaces. That house on the corner with the chimes? It holds more than just wind, sounds. It holds moments, feelings, glances, laughter. Each step on this sidewalk is a reawakening. You step carefully around a crack, out of habit, as if the rule from childhood still applies. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. You smile, not because you believe it, but because your brain once did, and part of it still does. Because belief, even fleeting, leaves impressions. You crouch to look closer. In one crack, you see a small pebble. In another, a bit of moss. And suddenly, your mind opens to all the things stored in these lines, the chalk drawings that once covered them, hopscotch games, spilled juice, bike tire marks, shadows of scraped knees. You're not just walking your street. You're walking your timeline. Neuroscience tells us that physical environments are deeply tied to memory retrieval. When you revisit a place, even in a dream or imagination, your brain lights up in ways similar to being there physically. The visual cortex, motor cortex, and limbic system work together to recreate the emotional, sensory, and spatial textures of a memory. In simpler words, your brain doesn't need to be here to feel here. And in this moment, as your bare feet carry you slowly forward, you realize you've walked this same path in dreams, not once, but often. You may not remember every detail, but the feeling? That strange sense of familiarity, of being home, but not quite, of recognizing and forgetting at the same time? That's your hippocampus sorting and shuffling and surfacing memories while you sleep. Scientists call these experiences dream-based. Reactivation. As you dream, your brain replays the patterns of your waking life, reorganizing them, connecting them, sometimes distorting them, but always working, always learning. That's why in dreams, you often walk roads you once knew. Why you return to the school hallway, the beach house, the hidden staircase. Why sometimes you wake up with the scent of dust or the echo of a screen door still clinging to your senses. You pass by a square of sidewalk with initials carved into it, faded now, nearly erased by time. But you remember who carved them. You remember the stick used, the gasp when it cracked, the rush of being caught and forgiven. Memory doesn't need to be perfect to be powerful. Even faint memories leave deep impressions. Even forgotten things shape the shape of you. You keep walking. The sidewalk curves. You reach the corner. There used to be a swing hanging from the tree here. It's gone now, but in your mind it sways slowly. Forward, back, forward, back, like breath, like thought, like time. You pause again. Look down. A tiny dandelion pushes through a crack. Delicate, defiant dot. It reminds you that even in places meant to be hard and unmoving, like sidewalks, like brains, life finds a way to bloom. New thoughts, new dreams, new directions. Think about how walking, this simple act, connects so many layers of your being: physical, mental, emotional. In fact, research has shown that walking improves memory and creativity. That rhythmic movement activates the prefrontal cortex, reduces cortisol, and increases blood flow to the brain. So when you walk, whether it's through your neighborhood or through the corridors of a dream, you're not just moving. You're remembering, you're healing, you're becoming. And maybe that's why this feels so right, this barefoot wandering. Because it allows space for thoughts to drift, for memories to rise, for dreams to take shape between each step. You turn the last corner, nearing the edge of the route. The sidewalk here narrows, then disappears into the dirt path that leads to the back gate. You remember that dirt path too. You remember the stones you used to line it, the stick you used to draw paths on its surface. You remember pretending it was a map, to treasure, to stars, to something more. And maybe it still is. You stop at the edge of the dirt. Behind you, the sidewalk stretches back into the night. Ahead, the yard. Above, the stars. And beneath you, the imprint of every path you've walked, real and imagined. The dreams stored in the cracks of sidewalks aren't just dreams. They're guides. They're reminders that every step you've taken still echoes, that every forgotten road can be remembered, that the journey never really ends. It only deepens. You step onto the path, and just before the gate, you feel something stir behind your eyes. Not a thought, but a pull, the kind that comes not from memory, but from sleep. The gate closes softly behind you. The path dissolves into shadow. You feel the night folding inward, like a curtain being gently drawn across the sky. The stars remain, but they no longer pull you outward. Now they reflect what's happening. Within, your limbs grow heavier, thoughts quieter. The hum of the world softens, replaced by a rhythm you barely notice, the slow, synchronized pulses of breath and heartbeat. Your body is preparing for a journey, not the kind with suitcases or roads, the kind that begins with stillness, the kind that happens in silence. You lie down, maybe on a couch, a bed, a blanket in the grass. It doesn't matter where. What matters is the shift you feel, the surrender, the small inner sigh your body gives when it realizes it's allowed to let go. And as your eyes drift shut, you begin to travel, because sleep is not an end. It's a passage, a secret time machine tucked inside your biology. You may think of sleep as stillness, but inside, it is anything but. Your brain enters a world of waves, electrical rhythms that change with each stage of the sleep cycle. Alpha. Waves give way to theta, then to the deep, slow delta waves of non-REM sleep. And finally, REM, the dream state, vivid and strange, where memories reshape and emotions untangle. You are doing more in sleep than you know. You're not just resting, you're reorganizing. Tonight, as you lie there, your body lowers its core temperature by a few degrees. Muscles loosen. Breathing slows. Melatonin flows like a tide, nudging the body further inward. Cortisol drops. Adrenaline vanishes. Your immune system becomes more active. Your heart moves with measured calm. In your brain, a different kind of movement begins. During sleep, the hippocampus, your memory gatekeeper, starts replaying the day. Bits of conversation, the shape of the sidewalk, the scent of grass. Even this very sentence, right now, is being bookmarked. Labeled, filed. If it's meaningful, it may be stored. If not, it may dissolve like a dream at sunrise. This process is called memory consolidation, and it's one of sleep's most essential gifts. By night, your brain takes the raw footage of the day and edits it into a coherent reel. Important details are preserved. Emotions are balanced. Stories are stitched together, and sometimes the result is a dream, a world that feels both familiar and surreal, where sidewalks bend into staircases, where loved ones speak in symbols, where time folds like paper in dreams. Your brain isn't just replaying reality. It's experimenting, testing ideas, trying emotions, exploring alternate outcomes. It's like theater, therapy, and memory training all at once. And perhaps that's why dreams feel like travel, because in a way, they are. You move through landscapes without moving. You visit moments without returning. You feel things that haven't happened, and yet they leave echoes behind. You shift slightly under your blanket or against the earth, and your body knows exactly what to do. Each stage of sleep unfolds in cycles, about 90 minutes per loop. In early stages, the body repairs muscle, rebuilds tissue, restores energy. Later, in REM sleep, the mind becomes the traveler. It's here that your consciousness loosens its grip. The logical brain goes quiet. The emotional brain lights up. And the default mode network, that internal narrator that reflects and wanders, becomes your compass. You are not dreaming randomly. You are mapping the space between past and present. You are stitching together feelings and facts. You are practicing, processing, playing. This is why some dreams feel like memories in disguise, and why others feel like futures trying to be born. You might return to a childhood home, or find yourself speaking with someone long gone, or standing at the edge of something vast and unknown. Time in dreams is not linear, because time in the brain is not fixed. In sleep, the present unravels, and in its place, 1,000 possibilities. Open. Your body lies still, but your mind walks old paths, visits forgotten rooms, listens to echoes. You may not remember it in the morning. Most dreams fade within minutes of waking, but your brain remembers enough. It integrates, learns, softens what hurts, strengthens what matters. Sleep in this way is not escape. It's continuation. It's your inner self, sorting through the day, polishing the moments, tending the garden of your mind. And while you sleep, something even more miraculous happens. Your brain cleans itself. During deep non-REM sleep, the glymphatic system, your brain's waste removal network, flushes away toxins that build up during waking hours. It's like a nightly rinse, clearing away what's not needed, making space for clarity and calm. You aren't aware of it. You don't need to be. But your future self will thank you. You are restoring more than energy. You are restoring direction. And so, as the night deepens, your breath becomes a lullaby. Your muscles release their last bit of tension. Your mind grows wide and quiet, and your body begins another loop through sleep's winding paths. You may dream tonight, or you may not. You may remember, or you may simply wake with a feeling of peace or nostalgia, or something softer than either. But make no mistake, you will have traveled through the past, through the self, through a space your waking mind can only glimpse. And in that travel, healing happens. You turn gently beneath the covers. The room or the field or the memory around you holds steady, and just before sleep takes full hold. One final thought drifts across your awareness. If dreams are time machines, ... what light will the morning bring back with you? The windows are dark, except for one. A single square of golden light glows from the far corner of the house, steady, soft, and patient, like a memory that doesn't want to leave just yet. Like the closing line of a lullaby ... you see it through. Heavy eyes. The rest of the house has gone quiet. The porch light flicked off an hour ago. The fridge hum has dulled. Even the crickets seem to be whispering now. The night has curled itself inward, and you've followed. The air around you is still, not empty, but complete. You feel no rush, no plan. Only the weight of your body as it sinks deeper into the fabric of rest. The last light in the window flickers slightly. Not from wind, but from you, from the gentle blur of sleep rising behind your eyes. And as you lie there, barely moving, your body begins its quiet, miraculous work. You've heard it before. That's sleep is healing. But now, you begin to feel what that means. Inside your brain, the world slows to a sacred rhythm. Cells shift from action to restoration. Blood flow changes course, directing itself toward your core. Hormones rise and fall in quiet waves. The noise of the day drains away. And in this silence, something rare begins, something only possible while you sleep. Your brain begins to clean itself. A few hours into deep, non-REM sleep, the glymphatic system, a kind of inner wash, comes alive. Cerebrospinal fluid begins to pulse more strongly, flowing between the spaces of brain cells, clearing away the debris of thought and activity. Proteins, waste particles, byproducts of a day's worth of living, all gently swept away. It's not unlike a river rising to cleanse a canyon. Slow, silent, purposeful. You don't feel it, but it's happening, and it matters. Scientists have linked this nightly rinse to brain health, to emotional regulation, to memory. It's one of the reasons why sleep isn't a luxury. It's a foundation. You need it, not just to feel rested, but to remain whole. The last light in the window casts a faint beam across the floorboards. You imagine it reaching across the room, like a hand. You've always liked nightlights, not because you're afraid of the dark, but because a little light feels like a promise. A promise that even in deep stillness, something watches. That even in sleep, you're not alone. And truly, you're not. Your body is with you, working, healing, listening, repairing tiny tears in muscles, replenishing energy in cells, balancing chemicals that tilt the scale of mood. Even your dreams, strange and shifting as they are, serve a purpose. They process what you can't in daylight. They speak in symbols, in feelings, in colors. They sweep out the corners of your mind and leave space for tomorrow. And tomorrow will come. But not yet. Not now. For now, you are held in the slow, sacred unfolding of the night. The house around you is more than wood and brick. It's memory. It's rhythm. It's the sound of footsteps long faded and voices from the hallway and the creak of the stair that always betrayed your midnight snack. It's your anchor. And now, in this hour when only one light remains, it becomes a cradle. The bed beneath you supports every inch. Your breath finds a quiet loop, in, out, in, out. You don't need to guide it. It knows the way. Your chest rises gently. Your hands are still. Even your thoughts begin to dissolve into the space around you. You think for a moment about how many nights you've lived, how many times you've returned to this moment of closing eyes, of giving in, of letting go. And how little credit we give to sleep for its devotion. It returns for us every night, asking nothing but surrender. And in return, it gives clarity, stability, strength. The light in the window begins to dim, maybe on its own, maybe in your mind. You welcome it. The darkness no longer feels like an ending. It feels like a beginning you don't need to understand, because you've reached the deepest part now. The part where thought is no longer needed, where time stops pressing forward and instead floats, where nothing is demanded of you but softness. The night has claimed its quiet, and you have become part of it. The world, for now, will wait. Trees outside your window sway gently. The stars overhead hold steady. The earth spins silently beneath you, and your body, this astonishing vessel, does exactly what it was made to do. It heals. It dreams. It breathes. You are not reaching anymore. You are arriving into rest, into home, into peace. The light in the window is almost gone now. Only the faintest glow remains, like a candle behind the curtain, like the final ember of a memory, like the soft echo of a voice saying, "You're safe now. You're still. You're home." You close your eyes fully, and in that final flicker of awareness, a question stirs softly beneath the surface. When the light returns in the morning, what will it find blooming quietly inside you? And now, as our story gently fades, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this moment with me. Your presence here means the world, and your support helps me create even more peaceful journeys. Just for you. If this helped you rest, please consider liking, subscribing, or simply coming back tomorrow night. Until then, stay cozy, stay kind, and may your dreams tonight be soft, serene, and full of wonder. Good night, my friend. With warmth, David.